Every artist has a toolbox. Inside that toolbox are the elements of art. They can be arranged in different ways to create different types of artwork. There's line, shape, color, form, space, texture, and value. There are 7 elements total. This video is going to focus on the element of art, value. If you're interested, click the link below for a guided note sheet to help you follow along with the terminology in this video. Let's start by defining what value is. Value refers to the lightness or darkness of a hue. A hue is just another word for the color, like red, green, black, and so on. In this video, we'll focus on a few of the popular techniques that artists use to render value. This is an example of a step-by-step value scale. Each box represents a different tint or shade. On one side, we see light colors. These are referred to as tints. It's a color plus white. In the middle, we see the original hue. And on the right side, we see the darker tones, known as shades. These are colors mixed with black. This is an example of a value scale showing the tints and shades of the color green. Notice that they go from dark to light gradually on this value scale. There are many ways and techniques that artists can render value with lots of different materials, whether they're painting or drawing with a pencil or ink. One of the methods is just regular shading. This is a gradual blend of value from light to dark. Another example of a technique that artists use to render value is a technique called hatching. With this technique, the artist uses lots of lines to create a sense of value. More lines layered over top of one another will create a darker value. Less lines, of course, will create a lighter value. In this value scale, you can see exploration of using lots of lines all going in the same direction to create a value scale of light to dark. Another technique similar is called cross-hatching. These are using lines that are crossed over one another. With this technique, artists overlap lines in different directions to create darker values. Another technique is called scumbling. This is where the artist uses squiggly strokes and expressive mark making to create a sense of value. This technique is really fun for expressive mark making and getting a little looser with your tools. Quite the opposite is a technique called stippling. This is a very intricate, controlled process using dots. Lots and lots of dots. Here's an example of a cone that's rendered with stippling. Notice there's a light source and a cast shadow. We see a range of light to dark. Stippling takes a lot of patience, but one of the really cool things about stippling is you can really control your value. Let's take a look at a sphere, a 3-dimensional form. In the top left corner, we see a light source of a sun. When light cast on an object, it's going to create a range of value, which creates a lot of 3-dimensionality. In this sphere, you'll notice that the side opposite from the light source is really dark, and it gradually fades up to a light. We also see that the side opposite from the light source is a really dark cast shadow. To finalize this drawing, we can add in some background to create a little bit of dimension and contrast. Let's label this drawing. So this part is the cast shadow. This bright white is known as the highlight. Right here, this little bit of light is called the reflected light. It's light that bounces up from the ground to create a little bit of highlight. Also pay attention to the way the shading gradually blends from light to dark, and it's in the shape of the sphere, so it's kind of rounded like a crescent moon. I hope you found this video tutorial to be helpful. Feel free to subscribe for more videos from Make a Mark Studios, helping you to make your mark through art.